The Mercedes-Benz 300SL Gullwing is not just a car, it's a legend that reshaped automotive history. When it debuted in 1954, its radical design, space-age doors, and record-breaking speed stunned the world. Journalists called it a car from another planet, and collectors today still pay millions to own one. But what many people don't know is that this icon hides plenty of strange, funny, and fascinating secrets. From unusual engineering quirks to surprising celebrity connections, the Gullwing is full of stories that prove it was far more than just a pretty face. So buckle up as we dive into 20 weird facts about the Mercedes 300SL Gullwing that will completely change the way you see this timeless machine. Fact 1. The famous doors were an accident. The 300SL's upward-swinging Gullwing doors were not designed for style. They were a necessity. Its race-bred tubular frame had high side sills, making normal doors impossible. Engineers cut into the roof and hinged the doors upward, creating a look no one had ever seen. At first, they worried customers might hate the inconvenience, since climbing inside was like doing gymnastics, but instead, the world fell in love. The doors turned what was a practical fix into one of the most iconic design statements in automotive history. Fact 2. It was the first fuel-injected production car. While most cars in the 1950s still used carburetors, the Gullwing became the first production car with direct fuel injection. Mercedes adapted the system from WW2 aircraft engines, pushing the 3.0-liter inline-six to an impressive 240 horsepower. This gave the car groundbreaking speed, but the system wasn't flawless. Owners often struggled with hot restarts, as excess fuel sometimes flooded the engine. Still, it was decades ahead of its time and proved Mercedes' obsession with innovation. Fact 3. The fastest car of its era in the mid-1950s, the Gullwing was officially the fastest production car in the world. With a top speed between 150 and 161 mph, it shattered expectations. Many sports cars of the time couldn't touch those numbers, yet this was a road car anyone with enough money could buy. Its speed shocked journalists, some of whom doubted Mercedes' claims, until they tested it themselves. The Gullwing's performance gave it legendary status, making it the car to beat for years. Fact 4. Entering was a workout. As glamorous as the Gullwing doors looked, getting inside was another story. Drivers had to climb over the wide chassis sill and drop into the seat, a process compared to mounting a horse. Mercedes even instructed owners to sit down backwards and swing their legs in. Women in dresses especially struggled, and even tall men found it tricky. Still, the car's beauty and prestige made people overlook the inconvenience, turning the workout into part of the ownership experience. Fact 5. Heat made it a furnace. The 300SL's cabin was notorious for getting unbearably hot. With no air conditioning, poor ventilation, and heat radiating from the engine, long drives in summer could feel like sitting in an oven. Some drivers even reported feeling dizzy on hot days. And Mercedes knew about the issue but did little, since luxury cars at the time weren't expected to provide modern comfort. Despite this, buyers still lined up, proving they cared more about speed and style than comfort. Fact 6. It was a celebrity magnet. The Gullwing quickly became the car of choice for celebrities, royalty, and tycoons. Famous owners included Sophia Loren, Gable, and even the Shah of Iran. These glamorous connections boosted its image as the ultimate status symbol. In Hollywood, driving a Gullwing wasn't just about transportation, it was about proving you were on top of the world. The car's celebrity appeal turned it into a cultural icon, immortalizing it in photos, films, and advertisements. Fact 7. The chassis came from racing. The 300SL wasn't designed as a luxury car at first, it was born from racing. Its tubular space-frame chassis was developed for the track, prioritizing strength and lightness. Mercedes had to adapt it for road use, but many racing DNA traits remained. This explains both its blistering performance and its impractical quirks. Buyers weren't just getting a car, they were essentially buying a race car in disguise, a rarity in the 1950s. Fact 8. Only 1,400 were built. The Gullwing's rarity adds to its mystique. Between 1954 and 1957, only 1,400 coups were produced. Today, surviving examples sell for millions at auctions, depending on condition and history. Each one is a prized collector's item, and many are locked away in climate-controlled garages. Its low production numbers make it one of the most desirable Mercedes models ever, with a value that has only skyrocketed over time. Fact 9. The steering wheel flipped forward because the cockpit was so tight. Mercedes designed the steering wheel to tilt downward for easier entry and exit. Drivers could release a catch and swing the wheel forward, making it possible to squeeze inside. This was one of the car's most unusual features, rarely seen in other vehicles of the era. It highlighted just how much Mercedes had to innovate to make the Gullwing even remotely practical. Fact 10. Its brakes were surprisingly weak for a car that could reach over 150 mph. The 300SL had drum brakes, which were quickly outdated. While adequate for normal speeds, they struggled under heavy use. Drivers often complained of brake fade during spirited driving or racing. It was a reminder that while the car was decades ahead in some areas, it still carried limitations of its time. Modern owners often retrofit disc brakes for safety. Fact 11. The trunk was tiny despite its grand looks. The Gullwing wasn't practical for road trips. Its trunk was barely large enough for a couple of small bags. Owners often had to pack lightly or carry luggage in creative ways. Mercedes later offered matching fitted luggage to make use of every inch of space. For many buyers, the tiny trunk didn't matter. They weren't buying the car for grocery runs. Fact 12. The suspension was tricky. The Gullwing used a swing axle rear suspension, which could cause unpredictable handling at the limit. Inexperienced drivers sometimes lost control, leading to accidents. Mercedes engineers knew it was a compromise but stuck with it to save weight and space. This quirk made the Gullwing a car that demanded respect, rewarding skilled drivers but punishing careless ones. Fact 13. It came in aluminum too. While most Gullwings were steel-bodied, Mercedes built 29 special versions with lightweight aluminum bodies. These cars weighed 187 kg less and were intended for racing. Today, they are among the rarest and most valuable Gullwings in existence, with auction prices reaching well over $6 million. Owning one is like owning the crown jewel of classic Mercedes history. Fact 14. Its doors could trap you. One of the strangest quirks of the Gullwing was that its iconic doors could actually trap drivers in emergencies. If the car rolled over, the doors couldn't be opened because they hinged upward. Drivers could be stuck inside unless they smashed the windshield to escape. While it looked futuristic, safety wasn't a priority in the 1950s, and this was a dangerous oversight by today's standards. Fact 15. It was born for America. The 300SL wasn't originally Mercedes' idea. It was pushed into existence by Max Hoffman, a U.S. importer. He convinced Mercedes that wealthy Americans wanted a street-legal version of the company's race cars. Without Hoffman's vision, the Gullwing might never have existed. This makes the car not just a German masterpiece, but also a creation shaped by American demand. Fact 16. It was expensive even back then in the 1950s. The Gullwing cost around $7,000, more than most houses in the U.S. at the time. This meant only the wealthy elite could afford it. Yet despite the high price, demand was strong, showing just how powerful its image was. Today, the car's value has grown beyond imagination, with some selling for over $2 million. Fact 17. Its aerodynamics were revolutionary. The 300SL's sleek, low body wasn't just for looks, it was shaped to cut through air like a bullet. Mercedes engineers tested it in wind tunnels, something rare for the time. This gave it remarkable stability at high speeds and a look that seemed decades ahead. The Gullwing wasn't just stylish, it was a rolling experiment in aerodynamics. Fact 18. It inspired future supercars. The Gullwing left a legacy that influenced supercars for decades. Cars like the DeLorean DMC-12 borrowed its Gullwing doors, while modern Mercedes-AMG models still pay tribute to its design. Even today, the Gullwing remains a benchmark for blending engineering with beauty, proving its influence is timeless. Fact 19. It had racing DNA on the road. The Gullwing's racing background was obvious in its performance. Many of its components came directly from the Mercedes 194 race car, which had already proven itself in endurance racing. This connection gave buyers the thrill of owning a street car that felt like a race machine. It blurred the line between track and road, something few cars had ever done. Fact 20. It became a millionaire's toy from the moment it launched. The The Gullwing was never just a car, it was a statement. Only the rich and famous could afford it, and today it remains the same. Collectors treat it like fine art, and some examples never even see the road anymore. Its status has gone beyond transportation, cementing it as one of the greatest collector cars of all time. The Mercedes-Benz 300SL Gullwing remains one of the most admired cars ever created. Its futuristic design, groundbreaking technology, and racing roots made it an instant legend. But as we've seen, behind the glamour are plenty of strange and fascinating details, from tricky doors to celebrity owners, that make it even more unforgettable. The Gullwing wasn't perfect, but its quirks only added to its charm. More than 60 years later, it still commands respect, not just as a car, but as a symbol of innovation, luxury, and timeless beauty.